G'day, welcome to Lucy's channel, Lucy Lane, the Queen of Maine. Today we are going to answer your questions. Part 2. Alright, first question. What's one thing you've learnt or one lesson you know now as a German Shepherd owner that you wish you knew 12 months ago? Now, you have been really stumped on this, so I had a little ponder on our walk before, and I think I've come up with the answer. I wish, as an owner, I wish I knew more about the PSA, the Protection Sports Association, and the IPO and Schutzen, so protection dog element of German Shepherds. I wish I knew more about that and had more of an understanding of what that culture is. That's something that now really interests me, and I've delved quite deep into learning and educating myself on, and something I'm going to potentially do when we get a second German Shepherd, and a German Shepherd that's more rounded for that style of work. Another thing, Lucy's line, so Lucy's West German show line, she actually has a lot of her puppy relatives are IPO trained and have done very well in those sorts of arenas. So again, something I wish I did a lot earlier, something I wish I learned about a lot earlier, and something that I want to educate myself further and potentially do down the track when Lucy gets a little brother. Question number 2. How would you suggest getting your GSD to become a fish like Lucy? You're a mermaid, Luce. I really want my pup to love the water like I do, so I don't want to get it wrong. Okay, so my number one tip here is just to get your pup in the water as soon as you get them. So Lucy went she started swimming the second day we had her, around that 10-week-old mark. And then every day we live near water, so it wasn't very hard for us, but we just kept exposing her to the water, and I went in the water with her, we played in the water, and then eventually, you may have seen some cool photos and stuff, all those places where we take her to the water. Now she jumps off meter and a half high ledges into the water, like dock diving. She will jump off any platform, off anything that's high into water, no fear. And this all started just by getting her in there from day dot, pretty much. Just letting her play, maybe a little game of fetch, throw the ball out just to meet her, letting her get out there and get confident. And it just grew from there. And with the whole dock diving sides of things, Lucy just started doing that on her own. So then I just capitalized on that behavior trait. She just, no fear, would run full speed as a puppy and just start leaping off ledges. I had to stop her once from leaping off like a 5-meter ledge down at a place near where we live, where there's a massive, it's honestly a couple of stories high into the water. And if I didn't stop her, she would have gone for it. So look, that's a good and bad thing, but she knows better now. But the best thing is just to introduce them as early as possible. Next question is, how much does Lucy shed? So you may have heard German Shepherds get the nickname German Shedders. Lucy sheds twice a year, quite heavily, change of seasons, and then every other day of the year as well. So she sheds all year. But great ways to maintain this is just regular grooming, using a Furminator, using a Schlicker brush, and just doing things like swimming. I find is really good for a coat as well, really brings it up. And having a good, clean, healthy, whole diet with the correct macro and micronutrients can actually help reduce the amount they shed. Also, I recommend get a Electrolux or Dyson vacuum cleaner, or a couple of them, because they're probably going to break with the amount of fur that comes off these pups. But if that's something that upsets you, like my wife and I, we have a very clean house, and we've always been like that. It just means we just clean a little bit more. That's all it is. And you keep good maintenance and good care of your pup, and it's not an issue. Next question is, what is the ball and a rope brand that Lucy has in the water and in the park? Is it heavy duty? So that is called a Euro Joe bite ball. I don't have a link for that. I have a link for one very similar, and a lot cheaper. Not bad quality. It is down below. It's the best thing that I could find within Amazon for people who wanted to get it. But the Euro-Joe bike ball, I don't have a link for, but the best option for that is to just jump onto Google and buy one from whatever kind of localized shop that you have, or there'll be like an online dealer within your country that that supplies those type of balls. But the Euro-Joe bike ball is waterproof, highly indestructible. My most favorite toy, Lucy's most favorite toy that I lend to her. Great training aid. Highly recommend it, but they are very expensive, so just be aware of the outlay. I got really upset once when I thought I lost it, but Lucy found it, so thank God for that. Next question. Planning to get a female German Shepherd. Any tips on female heat and what to do? Now, Lucy is desexed. We missed her first heat cycle, thank God. So she got desexed around 7 months old, so just before her first heat cycle. But we do have friends who have German Shepherds that are not desexed, and what they do, they just, well, it's like in the middle of their heat cycle and hormones and things are raging, they just don't bring their dogs out to the meetups that we do. Keep them inside, and you know, if you're going to take your dog for a walk, don't let it off lead, and it's just common sense stuff. They can pass a bit of blood as well, so I'll throw a picture up here. This is actually one of Lucy's friends, Harley, a GSD. She's a lovely, beautiful working line German Shepherd. You can get adult size nappies, whack a hole in them, and then you can whack that on, so when they're inside, they're not going to leave any blood or any stuff on your furniture. So that's just something you might want to consider down the track. But anyway, that's what. Next question. Why did you name her Lucy? What is the next place you want to go on vacation? How old is Lucy? How long have you had your dog Lucy? What's Lucy's favorite food and treats? So, why do we name her Lucy? Because it's a nice, easy, short name, and it's very direct, and it's cute. But I don't want to be calling her Delilah or something that's like long and exaggerated to park. I just want a name that's very specific and she can understand it, and I don't forget it pretty much. So that's pretty much why. Next place, so vacation. We want to do a road trip around New Zealand with Lucy. The way the world is at the moment, probably never going to happen, but if we could ever fly again, that's what we want to do. We want to do some like proper traveling with Lucy, some stuff international. So good, New Zealand's 2 hours away on a plane, so that's a good place to start. And it's my home country, so we're going to give that a whirl down the track. We'll be vlogging it, don't worry, you're going to see everything on YouTube. And how old is Lucy? Lucy's just over 2 years old. We've had Lucy for pretty much from day dot. We've had her we got our happy gotcha day, was only just recently, so she's about 2 1/3 years old, and we've had Lucy for, you know, two and a bit years. And Lucy's favorite food and treat is chicken breast. She loves chicken breast more than life itself. Get into it. How long did it take until Lucy was fully focused on you? So I was able to get her to focus on me really early at the start because I bought a camera and just started taking lots of photos of Lucy. And Lucy cottoned on very quickly. Every time she would look at the camera, she would get praise and potentially a treat. And then we just repeated this time after time after time after time. She's so smart. Within a few weeks, she's a little puppy and she was posing for photos. But then I took that concentration that she had for me and the camera, and I just transferred that into training, transferred that into, like, if there's lots of little yappy dogs around that are really upsetting her, I can see it, and just so she doesn't, not that she would do anything, but you just never know. I can take her complete attention onto me and have her focus onto me, and the dogs can be carrying around all around us, and I don't have to worry about anything because her focus is on me. I'm the big dog, I want the attention, you'll look at me, and that's what she does. So, but it all stemmed from getting her to do one thing really well, and that was to look at the camera. And then I transferred that energy into other things with training and stuff like that. So that's essentially how we did that. Next question is, will you ever get another dog? And the answer is yes. I have once we move out of the world's tiniest house in Sydney, I would love to get another shepherd. I want to get a check line working shepherd from a really fantastic working line breeder in the USA. I'm going to get this one imported. This is going to be Lucy's little, but one day bigger brother. And this is the German Shepherd that I'm going to use and take down the road of doing the PSA, the Schutzen protection work style of stuff. It's something that really interests me, and since owning Lucy for the last just over 2 years, I really found what I would like to do next and another avenue that I want to do. So I was really able to make a really conscious decision on getting another dog. So we want to have a second German Shepherd. That has always been the plan. But since having Lucy and educating myself, I know what the second one will be. And yeah, so that's, and there's no time frame on that. Probably could happen in the next 1-2 years. So we'll keep you posted on that. Okie dokie, next question. What age should a German Shepherd puppy bark at people? Because mine is 3 months old. I'm not completely sure. Okay, so with Lucy's not a barker. She doesn't bark at people. She won't bark at things out in the street. She's very quiet, which is not like a German Shepherd. Most German Shepherds are quite vocal. The only time she will go off her trolley is when she hears someone open the latch to the house. That is it. The front gate latch, and she will flip out and make her presence very known. And that is something that I do like, because it's going to deter anyone from breaking in. They will definitely think twice about it. Trust me, her growl is very intimidating. But because we do live in the city, she's very conditioned to drunk people walking around outside, and all our homes here are built very close to the footpath and the road, so there's not much between you and outside, really, a very thin wall. So it's good that she's not a barker, because she'd be barking at freaking everything. And you do hear every dog in the neighborhood barking in every house as you walk past them, because they are built so close to the road, as I said. But if you're having problems with barking and stuff, may want to see a trainer about that. I can't really answer your question because I haven't had to experience it myself. Lucy's trained to bark on command. That's a great party trick. But again, if your dog's a barker, don't teach him that, because you have to make him shut up as well. Good job. You want a treat-o? Alrighty, next question is, I would love so if I could get my 7-month-old German Shepherd to walk like Lucy. Good job, Lucy. I have tried everything besides a prong collar. She pulls very, very bad when I walk her. Any suggestions? Yes. Try your no-pull harnesses. If they don't work, Lucy has pulled through many of those back in the day, around the same age, to be honest. The next thing you could try is a no-pull harness from Stylish Hound. They're fantastic. We use Stylish Hound stuff. Lucy's not a puller anymore. Eventually they'll grow out of it if you can train them out of it. But they are fantastic. They're really good quality. And I know people who have German Shepherds that we see regularly in Sydney here who have these harnesses, and with avid pullers around that kind of 1-year-old mark, German Shepherd, they can't pull. So it'll just flip them around and they just have to walk normally. It's really great, and they look cool, hence the name Stylish Hound. The next thing is to get a dog trainer just to show you the ropes on getting to walk, get your dog to walk at the heel, getting your dog to respect that slack lead. All right, and lastly, you could try a prong collar under the guidance of your dog trainer and someone who specializes in using these tools. Yeah, it can upset some people, as you know, prong collars can have a bit of a bad name in the past, and rightfully so. There are some really sick people who have done horrible things with them, although you can do horrible things with anything. So just because there are car accidents and that, you know, cars kill people, people die on the road, we don't stop driving. A car used respectfully is a safe tool from get to A to B, and that's the way I think of a prong collar as well. It's a tool that can be, as long as it's used respectfully, can help you transfer a message from A to B. So that's something that you could look at down the track as well. Again, don't just go out and get one. Do your research, acquire a trainer and learn properly. Alrighty guys, that is it for today. Now, if I did not answer your question tonight, that means I'm going to do a part 3, because I honestly underestimated on how many great questions we were going to get. So part 3 will be coming, so to be continued. Anyway guys, if you have more questions, please drop them in the comments below. We're having a lot of fun making these videos. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe if you're not, share this around on your other social media platforms. That would be amazing, because if you do share it, Lucy gets another treato, which we all want Lucy to have another treato, right? Yes! Yes is the answer. Anyway guys, have a good night, happy weekend, happy great start to the week, and we'll see you in the next video.